G'day. My name's Mark, and on the 10th of August, I, along with several other Extinction Rebellion members, undertook some actions at the Parliament House and at the Lodge. I personally spray-painted duty of care on the Prime Minister's residence. I was arrested after this, and I've just come out from spending a week in the Alexander McConaughey Centre, the prison here in Canberra, on remand. I can't lie, prison is a confronting and difficult experience, but I'm glad that I had my friends there to go through it with me. It's a privilege that we have to be able to go into prison and get out again so quickly, being able to sign bail papers. It is a difficult and confronting place to be. It is full of rough people who life has treated roughly. Discrimination is rife, and the mundanity is crushing. But I can also say that we have come out relatively unharmed and unscathed. And I can also say that I would do what I did again in an instant, because we are in a climate and ecological emergency. Our government is failing to protect us and is indeed driving us to our destruction. And if we do not take the most radical action now, then we face the collapse of everything.
Hi everyone, I'm Leslie. As some of you may know, I've already been into prison once, and I went in again this time after doing what felt like 2 months of actions, but apparently it was only a couple of weeks. We did some fantastic stuff. We learnt so much. We have made more of an impact than I ever dreamed we would, particularly with our last action. And this has a real sense of turning a corner. We know the direction that we have to go in now to get the attention of the media and to get the attention of the politicians. And we know the going to prison strategy has been controversial in our movement and certainly outside of it. Someone's got a better idea. I'm all up for that. Prison wasn't as easy as it was when it was just Violent and I the first time. I don't know if they were deliberately trying to teach us a lesson, but it was doable. We've done what we had to do. We don't have time to do the reformist stuff. We don't have time to let the politicians work this out. We know that, there's no doubt after the last IPCC report. So we have to take radical action, and this is the best plan we've got so far. And I'll be going back.
I think I'm Ross, by the way. I'm Ross. And again, I want to say how important it was that we all did this together and how wonderful that was. But the other thing that we had was we actually had the goal of going to jail. Now, this is weird, but what's great about that was that it gave us a fearlessness. It gave us a fearlessness to say, yes, we're going to do this, and how can we escalate the next action? They wouldn't let us go to jail the first time, so how can we escalate the next one? When you get there, they dress you up in this little outfit here. It's no pockets anywhere, so you got to put your things in your sock and stuff like that. But and for the men, do you want to show them?
Come on, boys.
Hi.
Admittedly, this is optional.
Yeah, ladies, you don't have to worry. We can still keep it.
Yeah, and in fact, Nick kept all his hair as well.
And Sergio.
Yeah, so, I think for me, the main thing was basically, as Ross said, we didn't go out to do one action. We stuck together and we kept innovating and pushing ourselves, and with that fearlessness kept disrupting. And I graffitied the Prime Minister's fence. Like, that's pretty full on thing to do, but at the same time, obviously the actual disruption and damage to our world is like it's nothing, and I'm totally willing to face the consequences of these actions. And that this time it was we didn't apply for bail. It's unknown whether we would have even got bail if we had asked for it, because that didn't happen for another member who took part in the actions. But yeah, going to prison, it's exactly as the stats say. Like 51% recidivism in Australia, and a lot of the people in there had been in as juveniles. A lot of people, I heard, were abused by foster parents, which led them into lives of crime. And it's really like, it's full on, but also like, you know, people are really good people as well at the same time. It's a very confronting space to be in. And probably the funniest thing is that you have, when we were in there, people said, I agree with what you're saying, but you went about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the necessity for this kind of action is just so vast now, and we've hit a nerve and we need to keep going. And I'm just really grateful for everyone's support out there, and for the support of the people that we've been doing stuff with.
Yeah. And here's Daisy.
Here's Daisy with the weather.
It's very cold in Canberra. But it's been an absolute honour to rebel with these people this week. We've made some really good friends in the Canberra Rebels. It's been absolutely awesome. I've learnt some new skills about how to self-represent in court. The duty of care campaign is taking off. I'll be going for a little walk later on. I've got my chalk and my spray and my mask. Going out in public and getting the message across that we need to protect the future generations. Time is running out, and that's why we've had to escalate. You might call it vandalism, but the vandalism done to planet Earth is absolutely catastrophic, and that's what needs to stop. They asked me the other day if I had a message for Scott Morrison, and the message would be, listen to the future generations and, be on the right side of history. Come and join us, Scott. Rebel for life.
I'm Bonnie, and I was in a support role these actions. So I was doing media, the live streams, and there's plenty of ways that we can support those that are prepared to get arrested. There's observation roles, police liaison, and de-escalating and informing the public if there are public around as well. And once people were in prison, there was a lot of media we had to do to keep the attention on them and make sure that their efforts weren't wasted. The escalation we did in Canberra, particularly at Parliament House, was what got us the media attention, whereas we've been largely ignored by media and not reported. So escalation is what we have to do, and the climate and ecological emergency is way too important to think about staying home when these important actions are going on.
I'm Sasha, and I'm gonna chat to you about the arrestee or prison support side of things. It's a busy time. And it takes a lot of people to just have the support that those who have put themselves in this situation for everyone. Making sure that they have everything that they need as much as we can. So it's quite a frustrating experience and process that you have to go through, but we were lucky in Canberra to have such amazing support from the locals and people afar, sending support emails to those that were arrested and then incarcerated put on remand in prison, and just the love and support that's shown through. It was great to experience that from the outside. I guess, we've still got 2 people in there at the moment, Violet and Sergio. And luckily we were able to be in contact with them from yesterday. So we've been emailing and a few phone calls here and there as well. So that's been a huge relief because, I think, when everyone else has left, we need to be able to communicate with them and let them know that they are supported and that we're, right out here supporting them. And I guess, there's so many things that you could help with from setting up emails to, donating or sending people money to put on their phone accounts, and just, doing all those kind of little bits and bobs. Same as court support. We need people in court with them as much as possible. Depending on lockdown, it gets a bit tricky, but having cars outside waiting for, dropping them at home, bringing snacks to keep people going, and water, buying coffee. And yeah, I think that all of that kind of stuff is just as important as the people going in. And for every person, I think the thing we've learnt this time is for every person going in, we need at least 2 people on the outside just doing that stuff. Communicating with family is another big thing. Just making sure that they are settled and that they can get communication with the arrestees as well. Anyway, that's enough. Thanks.
Yeah, I'd just like to add that these 2 women are very humble. They made this possible. We couldn't, all our support people, and including a lot of Canberra rebels, you're in prison, you don't know where your stuff is, you don't know if your car's being taken care of, you don't know if you're going to have a bed, and they just make sure all that happens, and it's such a weight off your mind that everything's going to be taken care of. So they are the real crucial heroes of this.
They are the wind beneath our wings.
We'd just like to finish this video by saying we have just completed, we're in the process of completing our second wave when our other 2 brave rebels come out. We've shown this can be done. We have shown men can go into this prison, that we know how to prepare people better now for what they're going to face when they're in there. They weren't mollycoddling us this time. We got the full prison experience. We can help people understand that. So we've done what we can do. We're going to keep going, all of us, I think. All of us who've been in have decided that this is something we will continue to do. If a lot of you don't join us, it's not going to work. We always know civil disobedience is about the numbers. And we are only going, we're going to become yesterday's news if we just keep going in dribs and drabs. So for anybody who out there who thinks this might be possible, we're running lots of Zoom information sessions. Stay tuned to the Signal chats and Facebook pages and things like that. And get involved, find out if you can be a supporter or if you can come to prison, because we need to do this in numbers, folks. We don't have time. We just don't have time to fuck around anymore. I'm sorry, we just have to do this. So thanks for listening to us and our stories.
And so Saturday 10 a.m. there's a Zoom called Duty of Care. Come along to that. Some of us will be there, and it's about mobilising more people for Canberra whenever possible. And also, just lastly, there was another gentleman who was in jail with us, Nick Abel, 77-year-old former CSIRO scientist and honorary associate at ANU.
He kept his hair.
He kept his hair, and he really had he did fine in jail. He was treated with a lot of respect, and he's writing a paper which hopefully an article will come out somewhere prestigious, Sydney Morning Herald or The Conversation, about tipping points and about how, as he says, the science has taken us as far as it can go. It's up to people now, and he really crossed his tipping point. A 77-year-old getting arrested 3 times, I think, causing property damage to the federal parliament, but just an amazing inspiration about what regular people can and should be doing at this time. So
it's true. The older you are, the better they treat you in there.
Yeah.
And any last little, funny bits, tidbits, any last things, break the ice a bit?
I had to convince a male nurse in the prison that I didn't need a pregnancy test, considering I'm 59 years old and menopausal, but that was a quite interesting experience.